This is the Extreme Stewardship Podcast, where we explore anything and everything that gets us better at making things good and good at making things better. It's the beginning of June, which means a lot of us are shifting gears in our work. Some of us are slowing down for things like summer vacation, and some of us are speeding up because we work in industries where our work is to help everyone else have their summer vacation. Some of us are ready to crash from the craziness we've just left, and some of us are wondering how we're going to survive the craziness that's just beginning. So, for both sides of that divide, I thought this might be an appropriate time to say something about a very popular phrase these days, work-life balance. And the short version is this: I do not believe in work-life balance. There are two primary reasons for this. First, I don't believe in work-life balance because work is 6/7. Yes, 6/7 of life. The remaining 1/7 is rest. That's all of life. There are not supposed to be any parts of life that don't fall into one of those two buckets, and they're not balanced. 6 is more than 1, so 6/7 is more than 1/7. You might think I wouldn't know these things because I'm a theologian, not a mathematician, but I have a 3rd grader and a 5th grader in my home, so I'm all up to speed on fractions and proportions, and balance means equal proportions. So I don't believe in work being balanced with other things because work is too big a part of life to be equally balanced with those other things. Second, I don't believe in work-life balance because work is part of life. Life isn't something to be contrasted with work, separated from work, protected from work. Putting a boundary between work and life is like putting a boundary between chocolate and dessert. Dessert isn't only chocolate, but it is mostly chocolate. That's how it's supposed to be. You can't separate the two. So I don't balance work and life because they are not two distinguishable things. So there you have it. I don't believe in work-life balance, but I do believe in work-work balance. Really, it would be better to say work-work proportion. Part of my work is writing podcasts. Part of my work is teaching classes. Part of my work is making meals for my family. Part of my work is helping my kids with their math homework. Part of my work is mowing my lawn. When my life is out of proportion, it is not because work and life are out of balance. It is because one part of my work is out of proportion with another part of my work. I'm staring at a screen too much and not taking care of my body. That's a work proportion problem. I'm sitting at the dinner table checking my phone instead of checking in with my wife. That's a work proportion problem. Here's one for my students. I'm taking shifts at my job at the same time as class. So I'm skipping class and therefore failing class because I'm at the job to make money to pay for class, which means I'll have to work more hours at that job to pay for the class again next year. That is a work proportion problem. I don't believe in work-life balance. I do believe in work-work proportion. I also believe in work-rest proportion. Life is way more work than it is rest, but we do need that rest. We need breaks. We need sleep. We need fun. We need restoration. We need rest. If I'm up too late or up too early working, that's a problem. If I can't go on vacation ever and relax ever, that's a problem. If I can never be present in the moment, if I can never enjoy creation the way it is because I'm always fixated on how it could get better, that's a problem. We need rest. Now, the trick with rest is that most of the stuff we do for rest is not really rest. Binge watching is not rest. Doom scrolling is not rest. The real problem for most of us is not that we have too much work and so there's no time for rest. For one thing, work is infinite. It's never done. So there's no such thing as too much work. There is only too much work in too little time. But the real problem for a lot of us is that we spend too much of the time God has given us doing neither work nor rest. And so we find ourselves behind on work and behind on rest at the same time. And then we might choose to work or we might choose to rest, but either way, we can't win. But the problem in that moment is not the work or the rest. The problem in that moment isn't in that moment at all. The problem is in the moments leading up to that moment in which life became something other than work or rest. Now, here's the solution, I think, and I'm saying this as much to myself as to anyone else. First, I need to cut out the stuff that's become part of life, but isn't work or rest. Second, I need to break down work into subcategories: job, family, church, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, alone, together. Whatever categories make sense for the work God has given me and whatever commitments I've made. Third, I need to ask someone who knows me well what the signs are that I'm out of proportion one way or another. And fourth, I need to remind myself that the work is never done, and when it's time to rest, the work can wait until tomorrow. Once again, I do not believe in work-life balance, but I do believe in proper boundaries between one kind of work and another, and I do believe in proper proportions of work and rest. And that, I think, is all I want to say about that. Thanks, as always, for listening to the Extreme Stewardship Podcast. My name is Michael Kibbe, and I teach Bible and theology at Great Northern University in Spokane, Washington. My behind-the-scenes partner in this endeavor is Ben Kibbe, CEO of Kibbe Consulting in Columbiana, Ohio. Our editor-in-chief is Liam Olmsted. Art comes from Leah Leanhoutz, and music is provided by Dave Murray of Derridune Guitars. If this podcast has been useful or challenging to you, shoot us an email, extremestewards@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you think it might be useful or challenging to anyone else, well, you know what to do. Ultimately, we hope that listening to this podcast has helped you get better at making things good and good at making things better.